All right, so right now I am currently watching UFC Paris, which is on the second fight of the night right now. And I want to talk about Conor McGregor in the recent live stream that I seen him do. Well, actually, I didn't see the live stream. I was actually watching MMA Joey react to the live stream. And he pointed out a couple of things that I thought were noteworthy of sort of talking about. Is Conor McGregor coming back? Well, in the assessment of MMA Joey, he says that he's not, based on just the sheer drug use and the constant drinking and the lack of discipline in his training camps that would lead to that conclusion. And you know what? Quite frankly, Conor has already made it. He's beat the game. He has nothing to prove. And sometimes when you have nothing to prove, you can put yourself in very dangerous situations against people that do have something to prove. So as a result, his motivation is not going to be the same. On top of that, I just don't think that the drug use and all these other situations of constant alcohol consumption and also the peer pressure of doing so, being that you're an owner of a liquor company, I just don't think that it helps in any kind of way. I really don't. And will Conor ever come back? If he doesn't, man, let me tell you, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it will be heavily criticized. Let me tell you why it's not the worst thing in the world. For one, he's accomplished way more than what anybody could ever accomplish in the short span of his career, including if you want to compare his career to, let's say, other UFC vets, right? A lot of people have never been double champion, let alone a single champion of their own weight class. A lot of people have never sold out millions of pay-per-views on top of not even ever headlining a main event card. And yet every fight that he belongs or is in has to be a championship fight due to the high demand of his commercialized value. But can he make it through a training camp and get to a fight? The answer is yes. But is it a good idea? And the answer is no. Can he go out there and make a comeback? With the right opponent, yes. But eventually he has to come back and fight a real opponent with the demand of fighting certain names. And that right there is going to expose him as a person that is no longer in the top 5, no longer in the top 10. All of a sudden, you come to a point where every Tuesday, Conor McGregor is just dropping down the ranking list because everybody is progressing. Everybody is moving. And you know what? Even the people that are considered rank squatters in the 155 division, they're out there fighting. Look at this. This is a lightweight fight right here at UFC Paris with Moicano and Saint-Denis as the headline. Saint-Denis is coming off of the Dustin Poirier loss, obviously, and Moicano has took on RDA and took on a bunch of different names in the 155 and the 145 division. Everybody is moving. Everybody is progressing. And then you have Islam racking up title defenses. On top of that, you have Arman Tsarukyan in the mix. It's just, he's out of this fold. He's no longer really a viable threat in the 155 division, at least as we speak. Now, yes, can he get back and get a fight and win, as I've said earlier? Of course. But what he cannot do after, let's say, an easy win, like let's say another Donald Cerrone fight, what he can't do is go in there and come back and fight, let's say, a top name, right? Like imagine how Conor would do against Arman Tsarukyan. I'm not very positive about that. How would he do against Dustin Poirier? We've seen how that goes. Justin Gaethje, even though Justin Gaethje is heavily damaged right now, that would not go good. Even Max at 155, I think that Max would walk him down and eventually stop him with strikes, sort of like what we're seeing Cavalcante right now doing to Cornelli in this UFC Paris card as I'm watching this right now. Yeah, what I'm seeing her do to Cornelli right now is exactly what Max Holloway would be doing to Conor McGregor. And it's sad to say that because you look at their first fight they had together, Conor McGregor's leg was injured in that fight, or his knee rather, and he had to resort to grappling. So basically, show his roundabout skills in the grappling exchanges, to which we normally don't see because Conor McGregor is a known striker and knockout artist. So this is what we have right now. And here's the thing, right? If I was his manager, El-Kheer, I would say to him, hey, Conor, listen, let's just ride this out. Okay, let's try to get out of your contract so that we can get you into some boxing fights. Now, I think that's what's going on right now. The one thing that I really want to say about Conor McGregor is that his success was his own downfall. And that's very, very contradicting to say if you think about it, right? Like, doesn't every MMA fighter want to be successful at this business? And so he has. Well, the problem with that success is now he wants to continue on. Here's what you got to understand. The sport of mixed martial arts is not meant for you to continue on until you are old. It really isn't. The demand and the taxation that you're going to put on your body, it's going to have limits. Sure, there were the Randy Couture's of the world, but you got to take into consideration that he fought at a time where he had a strong wrestling base and not too many people had well-rounded skills that they have today to present different problems to him. But the reality is this. Conor McGregor is in an era right now where guys are just getting better and better and better, and he is in a division where guys are the most technically sharp of all divisions. 155 is the most dangerous division in the MMA world. Okay, I'll tell you what, I fought at 155. It is absolutely tough because, well, I'll tell you why the 155ers are sometimes one of the best guys in a gym. Think about this. They have to spar guys that are 170 and up, 185 maybe at most. But then if you go lower than that, you got to fight guys that are 145ers that are ultra fast, 135ers that are even faster. So you're in the middle of that particular area of guys that are either too big to really rock you and hurt you, or guys that are small enough to have the stamina and the speed to really give you some problems on the technical aspects of the fight. That's where Conor McGregor is at. That's the division that he wants to compete in. Now, can he compete at 170? Now, here's the thing I noticed about Conor McGregor during the Anthony Joshua fight. He mentioned, hey, you know what? I don't think Anthony Joshua should retire because everybody gets slept. Now, obviously, this is an MMA mentality in comparison to, let's say, a boxing mentality. It's like anytime anybody loses, it's like, oh my goodness, they have to go and retire. But Conor McGregor needs to just adjust his competition, which is what I've said and mentioned about Anthony Joshua. Do I think that he should be out there fighting the top 10, top 5 guys in the world? No. I think Anthony Joshua should arrange and tweak his competition. Dylan White would be a great fight. I've heard Hatman Strikes Back, the boxing channel, say that this is a better option than jumping into the Dubois rematch straight away. And I tend to agree with him. I think that's a very smart choice, but the rematch clause that they have going on and the pride that AJ has, he's going to want to go back and fight Daniel Dubois straight off the bat, even off of that loss, just like what he did with Ruiz. Well, with Conor McGregor, I think what he wants to do is do the same thing. He wants to jump right in there with the top guys in the world, and quite frankly, right now, Michael Chandler is not a good choice to come back to if that's what you're trying to do when you're adjusting or tweaking your competition. So my only conclusion is, you know what? It's not the worst thing in the world for him to go out on top, or not even go out on top, obviously, because he's coming off of a loss, but just go out while you still can. You got all the money. You got all the health, at least of whatever's left of it, intact. So why not just retire and sail off your yacht into the sunset, right? But that is all that I have for this one. There's going to be developing stories in the future regarding Conor McGregor, whether he's going to come back or not. And once again, the story continues. Made Michael Chandler wait for 2.5 years, and I have 2.5 years worth of video on this particular matter, which is even crazy. So check out all those videos going back to when I was in the Mexican border talking about how this fight was never going to happen. Check it out. Or maybe I'll just put it on the description below just so you guys can get context of what is going on. Well, I will be back to cover UFC Paris as I am watching it right now and do a full post-fight breakdown right afterwards. And then maybe even do a different segment into the live stream right afterwards. So like and subscribe for more content to come. Inshallah, I will see you in the next one.